And now for more on the peace deal between the United States and Iran, we're joined today by Professor Kim Dong-soo, professor at the Division of International and Area Studies at Pukyong National University. Professor Kim, thanks for coming on today.
Good morning.
So under this deal, Iran will not develop nuclear weapons in exchange for sanctions relief, right? And U.S. President Donald Trump says Iran will never buy, develop, or produce a nuclear weapon. But some analysts, say the agreement falls short of that goal. Does this suggest some key sticking points remain unresolved?
Yes, the deal seems to fall short of Trump's stated objective. It strongly suggests that several critical issues remain unresolved or have been deferred to later negotiations. The central tension is between a political commitment by Iran not to acquire nuclear weapons and a verifiable mechanism that guarantees it cannot do so in the future. Those are not the same thing. Multiple reports indicate that the current agreement is more of a framework or memorandum that launches further negotiation rather than a fully detailed nuclear accord. The agreement appears to have succeeded in achieving de-escalation and a framework for future talks, but it may not have resolved the harder technical and political questions that would be required to guarantee Trump's stated goal that Iran will never obtain a nuclear weapon. That gap between a broad political commitment and a detailed and enforceable nuclear settlement is precisely why many analysts remain skeptical.
I see. And this deal also includes a $300 billion reconstruction fund for Iran, but a senior U.S. official said the deal does not commit the United States to paying Iran a single cent. So how exactly is Washington planning to make this work?
The administration's apparent answer would be the United States would act as a facilitator, not the financier. According to the text of the memorandum and subsequent statement by U.S. officials, the proposed $300 billion package is being described as a U.S.-led economic reconstruction or investment plan. But officials insist that it does not involve direct U.S. taxpayer funding. Instead, Washington would help create the conditions for capital to flow into Iran through several channels. The key point is that there remains considerable ambiguity. The memorandum refers to a $300 billion reconstruction plan, but public reporting suggests that neither the funding structure nor the exact contributors have been fully specified. Critics argue that the figure appears aspirational, but that the source of the capital remain unclear.
Right, a lot remains unclear about the deal, and as for the Strait of Hormuz, Iran plans to allow the safe passage of commercial ships through the waterway without tolls for only 60 days. So does this mean Tehran could seek to impose tolls after that period? And how do you think the situation will play out?
The 60-day toll-free provision suggests that the issue has not been fully settled. Iran appears to have preserved the option of seeking fees or maritime management role after the transition period. However, imposing broad transit tolls would face significant international resistance and could undermine the economic benefits Tehran hopes to gain from the agreement. Therefore, the more likely scenario is a negotiated compromise under which Iran receives some form of compensation for maritime service while preserving freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz.
I see. And Trump says the U.S. will resume bombing if Iran does not comply with the deal. Do you think the ceasefire will hold?
I think the ceasefire is likely to hold for now because both Washington and Tehran have strong incentives to avoid renewed conflict. However, this is better understood as a pause for negotiation than a final settlement. The real test will come during the next 60 days when the parties must translate broad political commitments into detailed, enforceable arrangements. If that process stalls, the risk of renewed military escalation will rise significantly, I think.
I see. And this ceasefire agreement also includes a halt to attacks in Lebanon. But many experts remain doubtful that the agreement could finally mean the end of the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah. How do you think the conflict will unfold from here?
The ceasefire may succeed in stopping the current round of fighting, but it is unlikely to resolve the deeper conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. What we are more likely to see is a period of uneasy stability rather than genuine peace. As long as questions surrounding Hezbollah's military role, Israel's security concerns, and Iran's regional influence remain unresolved, the possibility of renewed confrontation will continue to hang over southern Lebanon.
I see. We'll have to see how that goes. All right, Professor Kim, thank you so much for coming on today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.